It's Friday, November 14th, and this is the Echo Press Newsminute for the week of November 9th through the 15th. I'm Lisa Johnson. The Alexandria Art Guild's Center for the Visual Arts became an official member of the Lakes Area Chamber of Commerce after a ribbon-cutting ceremony Friday, November 7th. The downtown Alexandria art space will be open to the public starting Thursday, November 20th for its first public exhibit, the Holiday Art Sale. The center's located at 612 Broadway Street. It will be open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. until December 22nd. The Center for the Visual Arts includes a wide range of visual media on display and for sale, like pottery, glass, jewelry, sculpture, textiles, fabrics, and paintings featuring many different media. For more information about the Alexandria Arts Guild and its variety of memberships, you can visit their new website at alexart.org. Jason Surface has an origin story in trucking that might explain the 20 years he made it his life's work. It does not, however, account for the years he spent teaching or his position as Director of Transportation for Henry's Foods in Alexandria, and it certainly doesn't explain his newest venture, founder and CEO of ProDriver CDL School. Since the inception of truck driving up until 2022, you could simply go with somebody that knew how to drive a truck. Your dad, your brother, your uncle, friend of the family, whatever, and you would learn the skills. Just on-the-job training, says Surface. When you felt comfortable, you could go down to the DMV and take the test and pass, and then you have a commercial license. In 2022, the feds came out with a rule that said you must go to school. Must. Have to. So Surface joined a field of other folks starting CDL schools with a target market there that Surface wanted to hit, and two big differences. Read the rest of the story and hear that little bit terrifying origin story of Jason's in Wednesday's Echo Press. A 3% tax collected from guests staying at motels, resorts, bed and breakfasts, and other lodging businesses in the Alex area continues to make an impact, although it's down a little from past years. At the end of August of this year, the tax had pulled in $510,000, down about 6% from the same time period last year. By the end of 2024, the tax yielded about 8.3% less than in 2023. Alexandria isn't the only area that's seeing a decline, though. Statewide, 51% of destinations report lower activity. At its Monday meeting, the Alex City Council listened to a report from Gene Bowman, Executive Director of Explore Alexandria Tourism. They have a budget based on the lodging tax proceeds. Bowman says the tax forecast for the Alexandria area next year is what she called steady because a new 92-room Holiday Inn and more than 40 private rentals are opening. The Osaka School Board held a special meeting last week to approve a resolution calling for a $19.9 million building bond referendum. The vote is scheduled for February 10th, 2026 at the Ed Pollard Community Center. In a news release put out by Osaka Superintendent of Schools Justin Dahlheimer, it says the project scope for February 10th, 2026 has been reduced by 40% from the failed April 8th, 2025 referendum, and the tax impact on a median household has been reduced by 75%. Much of this has been accomplished by making space compromises, reducing square footage project-wise, and listening to the feedback from stakeholder groups on the most important elements to the future needs of our school. The information the board considered is available through a link via the news release on the district website. In Life, a play set during the London Blitz in World War II, Alice by Heart is about love and loss during a very difficult time in history. The show, Alexandria Area High School's theater department's fall musical, opens at the Performing Arts Center Thursday, November 20th. The high school's theater director, Brooklyn Bruner, says the students brought her the script in the fall and begged her to read it and give it a chance. She says she's glad she did. The story is an amazing way to see how different people cope with tragedy, says Bruner. We have all the different stages of grief made into this one incredible story of friendship and coming to terms with loss. I think it's important to understand the world at its highs and lows, and this show allows students to safely explore life in a 1941 world. In sports, the Alexandria football team kept inching closer to the goal line with the season on the line. However, the Spring Lake Park Panthers had the final answer. The Panthers' goal line stop on the Cardinals' two-point conversion attempt was the difference, taking home a 14-13 victory in overtime in the Class 5A state quarterfinals Saturday, November 8th. You can save money by subscribing to the newspaper, and we're also offering digital memberships to access the paper online. Stop by our office at 1920 Turning Leaf Lane Southwest, Suite 12 in Alexandria, or give us a call. The Echo Press, giving information life since 1891. Here are the top stories in Friday's issue. Locals came to show their gratitude for area veterans on Tuesday during a program held at Reach Church in Alexandria. Today marks the anniversary of the armistice that ended World War I in 1918, said current Post Commander Steve Clipperton of VFW Post 936. It ended on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. Originally known as Armistice Day, in 1954 its name was changed to Veterans Day to honor veterans of all U.S. wars, both living and deceased. The invocation was delivered by Pastor Nicholas Gray of Reach Church. In Romans 12:10, it says that we are to love each other with genuine affection and to take delight in each other, Gray said. Other translations say we are to outdo one another in showing honor. So today, we honor all the men and women who've served during wartime and peacetime. We honor you today. We celebrate you. A new playground is coming to Fillmore Park in Alexandria. At its meeting Monday night, the Alexandria City Council agreed to purchase equipment from Landscape Structures and Flagship Recreation for just over $230,000. The price would have been about $12,000 higher if the order was placed at a later date, that according to Council member Roger Thalman. The city will be able to store the equipment and start the project next summer. The equipment is for the larger playground, geared for kids 5 to 12. Other costs, including final design work and installation, will be paid at a later date. Work is also underway on the Alexandria Splash Pad, also in Fillmore Park, and is tentatively set to open Memorial Day weekend. The cost of the splash pad was estimated at over $449,000, and most of the funding was raised through donations. Read about other city council stories in Friday's Echo Press. The term toxic positivity has come into vogue in recent years, and it's perhaps nowhere more painful than around the holidays, where those who are suffering and those who love them are lost without a map. Grief Share and First Lutheran of Alexandria are hoping to provide some guidance at an upcoming event called Surviving the Holidays, Thursday, November 20th at 2:30 p.m. at the church, 1655 18th Avenue East in Alexandria. Holidays are always meant as happy things. You know, family gets together, family shares a meal, says Ann Chalice, First Lutheran's parish health nurse. We have all these great memories, and all of a sudden now your spouse or your parent is not there. They've passed away. So surviving the holidays is a gathering for anyone who's grieving the loss of a loved one during the holidays. It's okay to say no or not go to holiday parties. You don't have to say yes to everything, she says. Or you can tell the person that's hosting, hey, I'm going to come a little bit later and I may leave early. It has nothing to do with you. It's just that this is a new path for me and I'm trying to navigate it. The Surviving the Holidays event runs about 2 hours with a short video and a group discussion following. The ticketing system for the Andrea Theater was recently upgraded, and if you got an email about it, it is not a scam. Carly Kohlberg-Vance, the Andrea's executive director, said in an email to the newspaper that all tickets have been transferred from the previous software into the new system, a software program that is designed for community theaters. We are so excited to provide a smoother customer experience when it comes to ticket buying, says Vance, and the software will be much more cohesive for staff to use. In addition to purchasing tickets, Vance says the new program will allow people to make donations, sign up for the Student Theater Project, and sign up to be a volunteer. Vance says the Andrea is working on other upgrade projects as well. Every year during Give to the Max Day, the Andrea Theater hosts a 24-hour live stream event. Donations can be made during the event, which takes place all day on Thursday, November 20th. Donations can also be made early by visiting the Andrea Theater's website, andreatheater.org, clicking on the Events tab, and then choosing Give to the Max in the drop-down menu. In life, last month, Margie Glaseman of Alexandria wrote the Echo Press. Some of us are interested in finding out what happens to the recycling after it's picked up curbside. Can you provide some information on this? Steve Verkota is so glad you asked. Verkota is the executive director of Pope Douglas Solid Waste Management, and he is justifiably proud of and excited about the new and improved materials recovery facility that opened in April of this year and started single sort operations in June. With the recent expansion and some new equipment at Pope Douglas, he says, in addition to sorting more recyclables that get mixed in with garbage, we're able to process, totally separate, curbside or single-source recycling. That idea of totally separate is key. There's a very good reason they're kept separate, says Verkota, because if it ends up in the garbage, we can't get very much cardboard or paper or glass. There's no way to recover it. So we absolutely want it in that curbside recycling. Meanwhile, at the materials recovery facility, the new equipment is hard at work. 1 day a week right now, depending on capacity, we process curbside, says Verkota. We have specialized equipment that by size and physical property is able to sort the cardboard into the cardboard, the glass into the glass, the aluminum into the aluminum. Those are actually fairly easy, but with some of the new equipment that we have, we're able to separate all of the plastics by the resin. The number 1, number 2, number 5, and cartons, as well as paper and cardboard. In sports, unlike the athlete who doesn't want to think about a game or meet immediately before it happens, Hannah Hoff thinks about her next race constantly. The Alexandria junior chooses to visualize every race thoroughly to realize its potential for positivity. It's trying to think about all of the positive things and not think about anything bad that could happen, Hoff says. If you visualize the races more and more, it makes you less nervous because you already went through it in your head. That strategy has guided Hoff to success in the pool, building upon an already consistent presence for the Cardinals. Hoff successfully qualified for her third consecutive Girls State Championship swimming meet at the Section 8 AA Championships on Saturday, November 8th, finishing in second place in the 100-yard backstroke. Her time of 1 minute, 1:31 seconds bested her previous personal mark by about a full second from last year's section meet. Our opinion page items for the week include a guest editorial saying no veterans should go hungry, an Echo Press thumbs up, thumbs down editorial, our history column, an In the Know column about fall traditions, an Our Turn column about Studs Terkel, a commentary about increased costs at Alamere Health, and a response from Alamere's CEO, letters about reading more history, the Mayor and Council's plan for the future, Project Bookshelf, and collecting food and money for the food shelf. I'm Lisa Johnson. This is the Echo Press News Minute for the week of November 9th through the 15th. The Echo Press News Minute is produced by Al Edenloff and Lisa Johnson. The Echo Press, giving information life since 1891.